Hi, welcome. My name is Alejandro. I'm an Insight Timer teacher and mindfulness and meditation coach. To all the teachers and all the coaches who have joined, thank you so much for being here in our second Ask Your Guides. A commitment to love for all of you in the audience that are joining us. Thank you for being part of a beautiful community. And as we come into the space, um, may we come in with the intention to explore what a commitment to love for each one of us looks like. Um, it might sound different, it might look different, and that's okay. Um, so thank you all so much for being here. And as we begin, just know that the chat is open for comments, it's open for questions, and as teachers and as guides, we'll do our best to to engage with you all. Um, so again, thank you all so much for being here. It is
And
my
I,
honor. It's
I
my
was gonna say, and I am
privilege.
so sorry. I forgot to also mention that Dakota is going to do our opening meditation. I am so scattered today, so I apologize to everybody. I was getting a bunch of emails, people telling me the links didn't work, and then I muted the sound by mistake. But I'm getting it together. Thank you for your patience.
Let's
And
just blame
yes,
Mercury retrograde on
I,
everything. That's
that
okay.
works. That works for me
It's still
absolutely.
till April 4th, right?
April
That's
7th.
7th. There we go. So
I'm watching it.
Dakota, you ready?
I am. I am.
Awesome. Let's go.
All right. First, though, I feel called to share a bit about today's opening. Normally, I just step right into it, let it unfold naturally, but this time the process was different. So I want to bring you into that process for me. At first, I planned to use the same opening as the last time. It was easy, it was already written, it was beautiful, it was powerful, it was poetic. But yesterday, something nudged me to do more. And I reached out to Violet to see how much time I could have. Don't worry, it's not going to be more than 11 minutes. And with her go ahead, I started pulling some songs from my library, these heart opening songs, piano, strings, angelic voices, the kind of music that cracks you wide open. And it made sense if we're talking about love, then opening the heart felt like the right entry. But as I layered the sounds, trying to make it immersive like I always do, something just felt really off. And it didn't land where I wanted to. It wasn't what I expected. And with our daughter and my granddaughter in town, I didn't want to spend all night tweaking the audio in my office. So instead of being with them, so I scrapped it, decided, okay, today I'd just wing it. I'm usually pretty good at winging things. And then at 1 a.m., I woke up by something or someone, I'm not sure which, but what I heard was clear. It's easy to love those that are closest to us. It's easy to extend love to those who are kind. It's easy to feel love for a community, even this one that I've never, many people I've not even met, even seen in person. But what about those that we vehemently oppose? Can I truly love those who would rather see me in a cage than to be free? Can I love those who use violence as their voice? And that question really, it shook me. The deepest truths inside me twisted, stretched, they were challenged. And at 1 o'clock in that moment, I knew that I just couldn't wing it. So I pulled out my iPad, sat in bed in the dark, and I started searching. I needed a different sound, a different texture of love, not the soft feather-light, light polarization kind of love, but the kind that's forged in fire. And the kind that withstands everything, the wind, the tornadoes, all of it, the kind that pushes beyond the comfort, the kind that doesn't always feel like love, but is love in its fiercest form. And I could hear it in my head. But finding that music at 1 o'clock in the morning with few hours is really no small feat. And all of you teachers here can probably attest to this if you've had to get music for your meditations. It's not easy. You go through hundreds of tracks. And some of the sounds that kept calling to me were from the Gullah Geechee. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Gullah Geechee, but these were the descendants of enslaved Africans that were brought to the Sea Islands near where I used to live in Charleston. And their rhythms, their voice, their songs, they carry that weight of love as survival, love as resistance, love as a force that can't be broken. And so without spending too much time introducing my introduction, I want to offer you a reframe of love. Love as an act of revolution. So thank you for allowing me to honor this space by opening it up with what I created today in a way that may not fit neatly into a box. It's raw, it's unfinished. I only had this morning to record it and put it all together, but maybe that's the point. Maybe it's time to stop shaping love into something polished and predictable. Maybe it's time that we step out of our boxes and into something a little bit more real, because at the root of it all, we all need love. So let's start. And this is interactive. So I want you to snap. I want you to slap your leg. If you got a drum, do something at that. And without any more whatever, here is our opening. A single snap, and then another, and another. The rhythm builds like rain before a storm, slow, certain. The hum rises beneath it, deep and low, drumming in the bones. And then I speak. Listen. There was a time when love was dangerous, not the soft kind, not the quiet kind, not the whispered I love you behind locked doors kind. No, the kind that stood in the streets, the kind that faced down fire and did not flinch, the kind that held hands across lines drawn in blood. There was a time when love had to be smuggled, coded into songs, hidden in poems, slipped between fingers, carried in breath. A time when loving too loudly was reason enough to be erased. And yet, we do not love in silence. We do not love in shadows. We love like fire, like flood, like fist unclenched. We love with our feet on the pavement, our hands in the dirt, our voices shaking in sky. We love like a breaking of chains, like the healing of wounds, like the rising of dawn. We love because they said we could not. We love because they tried to make us forget how. We love anyways. We love always. We love as revolution. Listen.
I have a dream. One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed.
A man stood with nothing but a dream and moved the nation with his voice. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. knew hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And so he stood, faced the fire hoses, faced the dogs, faced men who would rather kill him than hear him. And still he stood, because love is not weak. Love does not bow. Love is not a whisper. It is a battle cry.
Something is happening in our world. The masses of people are rising up, and wherever they are assembled today, whether they are in Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, Prague, Ghana, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, or Memphis, Tennessee, the cry is always the same: we want to be free.
We do not love in silence. We listen. The woman turned dissent into art form. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, real change happens one step at a time. So she took the steps, ruling by ruling, law by law, until the world shifted beneath her feet. Love is not just a feeling. Love is a movement. Love is work. Love is the hand that writes justice into history. We love anyway. We love always. We love as revolution. Listen. A monk walked through war zones barefoot, no gun, no shield, just breath. Thich Nhat Hanh said, understanding is love's other name. If you don't understand, you can't love. So he walked, step by step, breath by breath, bringing peace where others brought war. Love is not a whisper. Love is the reaching, the risking, the standing still when the world shakes. We do not love in shadows. You listen.
Come down from that mountain, Harriet. Come down to the valley at night. Come down to your weeping people and be their guiding light. Sing deep river. Don't you want to cross over today? Sing deep river. Don't you want to walk on freedom's way? I stole down in the nighttime. I come back in the day. I stole back to Maryland to guide the slaves away. You better run, brave Harriet. There's ransom on your head. You better run, Miss Harriet. They want you live or dead. I've been down in the valleys yonder and searching around the stills. They got a posse after you, riding through the hills. They got bloodhounds smelling. They got the guns cocked too. You better run, bold Harriet. The white man's after you. They got $10,000.
A poet turned pain into power. Maya Angelou stood where the world told her to kneel. Have enough courage to trust love one more time, and always one more time. And so she rose again and again and again. Love is relentless. Love is the choice to rise anyway, to breathe, to hope, to dare, to refuse the smallness that they have asked of us. We love anyway. We love always. We love as revolution. Listen.
It has been my great privilege to serve a people whose bondage to an inhuman system evoked the solidarity of all those who love freedom and justice. A people whose triumph over the divisions of racist doctrine has given new life to humanity's hope for a world without hatred and discrimination.
A man sat in a cave and dreamed of freedom, not just for himself, but for all. Nelson Mandela said no one is born hating. They can be taught to love. So he unlearned, he forgave. He walked out of a prison cell and into history. Love is the great undoing. It is the breaking of cycles, the rewriting of what was written in chains. We do not love in silence.
Oh, the challenges of the present time for our country, our continent and the world are greater than those we have already overcome. We face the future with confidence We do so because, despite the difficulties and the tensions that confront us, there is in all of us the capacity to touch one another's hearts across oceans and continents.
Listen. A girl hid in an attic and dreamed anyway. Anne Frank wrote, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." She wrote it while war raged outside her door. She wrote it while hatred hunted her family. She wrote it while death circled her name. Because love is defiant. Love is a candle in the deepest dark, and still it burns. Still it fights to be seen. We love anyway. We love always. We love as revolution. We breathe together. We rise together. And we begin right now. I'm Dakota Earth Cloud Walker. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you.
Amazing.
Wow, wow, wow.
Thank
Wow.
you. And I will be putting this on my Insight Timer profile. So
Yeah.
y'all can listen to it if they accept it, actually. They refuse some of my work. So
I'll post the replay too
good. Thank you.
elsewhere.
Aho.
Um,
That was amazing. John, I'm going to let you take over.
okay.
Amazing.
Thank you. Before I begin, I just want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude first to Violet 108, who has tirelessly worked to bring all these incredible teachers together for this Ask Your Guides, our second one for a commitment to love. Thank you so much, Violet. And to Alejandro for co-hosting today's session, and to Dakota for yet another beautiful and powerful opening to set our container. And most importantly, to all of you, this amazing and powerful Insight Timer community, together we are changing the world. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. A commitment to love is a global movement that began right here on Insight Timer, born from a deep recognition that love must be more than just a concept. It must be a practice, a way of being, and a force for change. This movement invites us to ask, what does it truly mean to commit to love, especially in these uncertain times? And if you want to dive deeper, I encourage you to listen to my track on Insight Timer, A Commitment to Love, a Movement, where I share more about how this began and how you can be part of it. Since our first event, we've seen something extraordinary. This movement is no longer just an idea. It is alive because of all of you. Teachers are hosting live sessions under a commitment to love and having amazing thought-provoking conversations. It's been truly inspiring. Community members are sharing their voices, their reflections, their art. Social media is amplifying the message in ways we couldn't have imagined just a month ago. This movement is no longer just a concept. It's ours. And that makes it unstoppable. I often say this, and I will keep saying it. Love is not passive. Love is not silent. Love is movement. Love is action. Love is truth in motion. Right now, we are seeing the world shift before our eyes. The harm and hatred we are witnessing is accelerating. And while it is difficult to look at, it confirms why movements like this matter. We cannot be turned away. We cannot be silent. The work we are doing together is about bringing love into action. And not just in our personal healing, but in how we show up for each other, how we hold space, how we create ripples of change in ways both big and small. And at the heart of this movement is an invitation, one that I will continue to extend. What does a commitment to love mean to me in these uncertain times? How is love asking me to show up? What is mine to do? I invite you to sit with these questions and see what arises for you. Because when we truly sit with them, something shifts. And that shift, however small, can change everything. This movement belongs to all of us. It is a movement of voices, of creativity, of action, because love is not just a feeling. It is a force. It is a responsibility. So I want to encourage you, keep going, keep speaking, keep creating, keep finding ways to embody love in action in whatever way feels right for you. Your voice matters. Your presence matters. What you put into the world has an impact. We cannot control what is happening in the world, but we can control how we respond to it. And together we are choosing love. And that is no small thing. That is radical. That is revolutionary. So let's keep building. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep widening the circle. A commitment to love is our movement now. And let's make sure the world knows it. Thank you. How will you commit to love today?
Thank you so much, John. Thank you for that invitation to truly look within and see how we can commit to love today. So I want to open up the space for all of you beautiful teachers, guides, coaches to share with us, to the audience, how have you committed to love, not only today, but in your journey? And there are some people here that I am super excited. Some of you, I want to say, your yes to saying yes to your calling helped me years ago in my darkest time. So thank you for saying yes to love so I could say yes to love too. So the floor is open. Who wants to share? Not all at the same time, please. Go ahead, Gina. Go ahead.
Well, I will share now because I have to leave early and I wasn't at the last session, so I'm grateful to be able to come now. And, I thought about it a little bit before I came on here, and I realized that with everything that was happening in the world, in the United States, but really everywhere, that I really was recoiling and reclusive and becoming so inward in my approach to everything. And over time, and with this thought about love and a commitment to love, a commitment to kindness, a commitment to each other, to community, I realized that my greatest gift at this moment is to continue to show up, to commit to consistency, to commit to being here, to commit to myself and knowing who I am, staying strong in what I have to offer, and allowing that part of me to shine. And no matter what else is going on, I just have to keep showing up. And I also realize that it doesn't mean that my voice has to be louder than someone else's. It just has to be present. So, yeah, I think it's a really simple thing, but it's really been empowering for me. And I'm going to stay with it. So thank you all, everybody. Dakota, that was incredibly intense and wonderful. And I really appreciated getting us going in that way. My whole body is vibrating, and it really feels wonderful to share that with all of you and to this whole community that's here with us right now, and those who are not necessarily present here, but I know are here in spirit. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Gina. I love that. Just being present. Your voice not necessarily needs to be louder than the next one. It just needs to be. Thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. Kyla, I'm sorry. I don't mean to mispronounce names. Go ahead.
Kayla, it's all good.
Kayla. Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to echo Gina as well. Dakota, that was absolutely earth-shattering. It was fantastic. It was exactly what I feel like this needed to be right at the start. And I want to kind of double down on that concept of love as revolution, because the thing that has been coming up for me a lot recently, a lot of people talk about the things going on, and I had someone ask me like, "Oh, are you keeping up with what's going on?" And what I realized is that, regardless of whether we're keeping up with the things going on, if we are helping others to feel hopeful, hope is the thing that is at the core of all of the things going on. And if we can foster hope in as many people as possible, and that's hope in self, hope in love, hope in humanity, that kind of hope that there is more than just the information that we are currently getting from the daily news, all these things coming out, that hope for love. And that is a form of activism, because there is that moment where you're like, oh God, like I'm not at the front lines. What if I'm not someone who can like you're saying, Gina, to have the loudest voice? Even if you're not the person with the loudest voice, how can you use your voice? And for me, it's really just been understanding that, like, what I do with my lives, what I do with meditation, what I do is I help people to feel hopeful. I inspire hope. And that is a huge form of activism. So I want to extend that to everybody here. You guys are all activists. As we are bringing hope to people, we are spreading that love. So love is revolution, love is activism, hope as activism.
Love that. Love that. Go ahead, Diana. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for hosting this live event. It's so joyful. And speaking about love by nature, as all of us, I'm sure, I felt a lot of love inside of me throughout my whole life, to someone or something, just to life in general. But most of the time I felt it wasn't enough, and sometimes even hurtful. And I started to ask myself, why? What could I change? And the main reason is not because it wasn't enough of love in my life, but just because simply I was holding this love inside of me without letting it grow or expressing it. And it was simply because I was shy, probably, or secure enough to express it. But this year, I committed to connection. And once again, thank you for this live event. It is a big chance for me to manifest my intention. And I set a goal for myself to express love, thankfulness, or gratitude to say people, no matter how close they are, or even to some strangers, some kindness to share with them what I truly feel in the moment. And no matter how intimidating it can feel sometimes, or whether I have doubts that, oh my God, it maybe is too much, or this person will not understand me why I'm saying that. it doesn't matter. I'm sure that it will have a ripple, and it does, ripple effect on all of us. And again, it was already said here that we need to take action, and it is a movement, not just a word, love. I'm trying to align all of my choices, decisions, and all of the opportunities in my life to my vision and mission, in a nutshell, of creating a compassionate and interconnected society. So that is how I am the source of love, making it happen to the world. And again, I love you guys. I love Insight Timer and our community. Dakota, it was an amazing experience today. It was nothing that I could have expected with the meditation, but I truly enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Carrie.
Thanks. Yeah, coming to love, a word that really comes up for me is suffering. I think of suffering when I think of love. Often when feeling a sense of, not being at ease or anxiety in the body, there's some message of suffering going on. And what is this suffering saying? Often the message has to do with love. It is, where am I lacking love? Where am I not aligned with love? In that I am experiencing suffering in my life through my perception. And an example of this is, the other day, I was fortunate enough to be in Mexico, and I'm a Canadian, and met some lovely folks from the USA in the pool, and they asked me this question. It was that, there was this pause, we had this great conversation, and then it was, so what do you think of the US? And I was kind of, taken aback. That's a big question, right? And, the first response is, well, I don't have an opinion of the US. I have opinions and values about, politics that affect the country I'm in, the people that I'm in, diversity, equality, I have opinions about those things. And that sharing those opinions with these people in the pool was really beautiful, because we definitely had two very oppositional views. And I noticed my nervous system starting to activate. I know it's different for everybody. For me, my breathing gets a bit faster. It feels like the pulse is going quicker, it's just, all right, I'm activated here. Something is going on. And afterwards, I reflected on, okay, what was that speaking to me? What was my body sharing to me through this experience? Was it heated, the conversation? No, not at all. I realized that there was judgment, a lot of judgment from within me. I wasn't necessarily thinking the thoughts, but I was feeling the feelings of judgment towards these people. And it was so beautiful to have this moment of realization where I could just sit with this judgment, sit in a space of love. I was creating suffering for myself by being in a space of judgment of others. And so, yeah, I really wanted to touch on the word suffering today, and how is suffering connecting us to love? Often it is the force or the push, the wall, the hurdle that we have to get over to break down what's built up between us and between love. So I'll leave that there.
So good. So such an interconnectedness when it comes to love, suffering, and how we're in control of what is happening within and how we express that. So thank you for sharing, Carrie. Emily, come into the space.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. What a wonderful space, what an important space, and what a wonderful meditation, Dakota. So thank you. I feel in these times of immense adversity and pain and suffering, it's as if the beauty, the kindness, the connectedness, and the authenticity is being highlighted. And not only how it is more important and how I feel more drawn to express it and more aware about it. But, well, that's actually the key. I've been thinking about that lately, how instead of focusing only on what is causing the suffering. It's as if the love is the constant reminder of the opposite of suffering. Connecting to you also, Carrie, as I said before, the beauty, the authenticity, the connection, and the importance of building bridges, and how it is so much more important than ever before to build bridges within ourselves and within our own halves, our painful selves and our balanced selves, and within our families, our communities, and also like this, creating these bridges of love and beauty and connection. That's what will help us move forward and through, because we will move through this, I believe. So I think that's what I have to say today.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you. I love that. Building bridges. I just put on the chat, that is love. Even when we talk about like even Carrie shared, when we talk about not agreeing with someone, building that bridge of connection, understanding that we're all doing the best we can with what we have, even if that is harmful or unhealthy. One of the things to go on that real quick that helps me understand is that not too long ago, I too had distorted points of views out of pain and hurt. So understanding and making that connection to build that bridge of connection. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Dana, come on in.
All right. Thank you. So what's been coming up for me is, who knew that our conscious revolution towards freedom would kick up so much dang fear? And we lost the focus that it's the conscious evolution towards freedom, which is bringing truth, which is exposing so much. But if we're going to be free, we got to be free of fear. And our fear responses have been freeze, flight, phone, faint. And it's time for a new one, and it's called function. And everybody on this planet has a specific function, and especially for this time. So fear not, and lean into your center. For you didn't come here to get bowled over. You didn't come here to be afraid. You came here to support the evolution that we're all taking. And you came equipped. But the first place we go is to love the fear that we feel and love our own concerns. Because when we do that, we are free. And we loosen up on this planet the hold that fear has. Because it's not a politician, a policy, a person that you need to fear. It's not about any of those things. So don't let your focus be afraid. The only thing that you have to do is address the fear that you feel inside of you and to greet it with love, and to know that you are more powerful than that thought. And when you've done that and you love that fear, then there's nothing to be afraid of. And you change the consciousness of this planet, starting with yourself. And that changes your vibration, and it begins to change the environment around you. And it is possible to make it through this time by supporting a mindset change. Because as our consciousness lets go of fear, equality rises, love arises, safety arises. So fear not, function. Go inside, center, love you. And love will function through you with the actions that you need to take. But you'll know those more clearly as you set your eyes on freedom and take your eyes off fear. And I love you. It's going to be okay.
Fear not. So good. Samantha, coming in.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. So, love for me, I think this is something that I see as starting with us. A few years ago, I was in quite a bad place, and this is what drove me to meditation, and it was rooted in my relationships and everything. And I didn't realize that until I started getting into meditation that I did not have that self-love for myself. And meditation started helping me find that self-love, which is why it's so important for me. I have I teach a lot of meditations on this because I think once we have that self-love, we can start extending that love out to other people. And we have a lot of love to give in this world and a lot of forgiveness too. Or we can have a lot of hate in this world as well. And not only for others, but ourselves too. For example, I have one 30-day course that is on self-love and compassion and forgiveness. And even that approach, I starting with your self-love, because you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot start giving that love out to others until you find that love in yourself. And then forgiveness last, because it's easy to say to other, yeah, I forgive you, but you really don't until you go through that process. And so that's my opinion. Self-love, you can't pour from an empty cup. So to take care of ourselves, love ourselves, and then we can help with this crazy world. So thanks. That's all I have to share today.
Come through, Samantha. You took me back to, it was a moment of almost like a drag show and a black church, a Southern Baptist black church. I was over here just hollering back at you. So good. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So true. Thank you. Thank you for bringing self-love into the conversation. One of my favorites. Don, come in, Don.
What up, Alejandro?
What up? What up?
Hi, everybody. So great to be here. And I actually have to scoot on in just a few minutes, so I appreciate getting in now. Boy, appreciations to Dakota. That was a wonderful, wonderful prayer. Thank you for that. I'm hoping to be able to play that on a daily basis for myself to keep me inspired. And John, after taking off from the first one, there's two big pieces I just wanted to share here today that I've incorporated with this inspiration about a commitment to love. One has been to kind of up the ante in my weekly live events that are here on Insight Timer. We talked today in the live event about how to be a calm center in the storm, and how that calmness can radiate out from us and touch everybody in our community and our families. And probably most of us aren't going to be, changing the giant world in any kind of individual way. But most of us, if not all of us, can do something in a small way with the ripple effects that can come out of our own efforts. So we talked about that a lot today in the live event and how we can do that, and meditated on that. So I'm kind of ramping up things into a commitment to love in my live events, which has been really fun and sweet to do. And then I launched, I don't mean this to be a commercial, I'm just really excited about it. So I launched a book / trickle out course called The Therapist Way. Being a therapist for the last 40 some years, I've seen the world of therapy gradually kind of shrinking into evidence and data-driven and production-driven models. I supervise a lot of therapists and have over the years. And have seen the pressure and the massive stress that therapists have been under. So I've launched this book thing that I'm doing called The Therapist Way, and it's all about a journey into the art of being a therapist. And it's all about the love that we have for our clients, the love that we have for ourselves, expressing that love and connecting with that love, as opposed to thinking we're doing technique-y evidence sort of things. It's been really well received already, really lovely writing it and putting these ideas out into the world. And this all came about since the first time we got together here with the commitment to love. So John, thank you for that inspiration, for that to move this into reality for me. And many, many blessings and big appreciations for my friend Violet. So thank you, Violet, for all that you do here. Thanks, folks.
Thank you so much, Don. Thank you. Vasil, I hope I'm saying it right. I hope I'm not
Thank you,
mispronouncing it.
Alejandro. Vasil. It's
Vasil,
Bulgarian.
Vasil. Awesome.
Thank
Come
you so
into the
much.
space.
Yeah. It's an honor to be part of this group of teachers. Violet, thank you for introducing me and inviting me and coming to my live. And Dakota, that was a piece of artwork. I hope that Insight Timer does approve it because people deserve to listen to that. My journey with love started with depression. And my depression was a combination of chronic pain coming from back pain and a breakup with a girl that I loved, that I saw building a future with. And both things happened at the same time. And I was this optimistic person my entire life, but it put me in a place where I lost myself. I truly lost myself and I became depressed. I started to have suicidal thoughts. And then I became aware of those thoughts. And I knew that I had to do something about it. And I made a decision to go all in into my personal growth and development, into love, into forgiveness, into spirituality, and into meditation. And meditation was the first thing I focused on. And wow, I decided to take it serious by becoming a certified meditation teacher to pay for my certification. And that's when I took it serious. And it turned my world upside down. And I went within. The library opened up. And I found myself, and it took work. But I got to this point where I reached inner peace and I found unconditional love for myself. And for the longest time, I lived with this thought of, I don't know if I can ever find love again as far as a partner. And the more work I did on myself, I got to this point where I became magnetic and I started attracting everything that I was going after. And then I ended up finding love again, not only within myself, but I found my wife. But what really inspires me to be part of this movement, to speak and to represent love, is to represent humanity, because I love humanity and I know that we can do better. And I see for such a long time, we have been just led through power, through greed, through hunger on the people that are at the top. And I see that there are other ways. And what came to me as a download was, how can we ascend? How can we get to the next level? How can love rule the world? When we master the inner, we can master the outer. For me, that was doing the inner work, so I found love. And when I did that, my outer world started changing. And I see now that I am here on this earth to represent love, to speak, and to grow into awareness, the ripple effect of love. Because I see that as a whole, human consciousness, when we focus on helping others find that within them, we get closer and closer and closer to being the humans that take care of ourselves, to being the humans that are not a threat to themselves, to being the humans that take care of animals and take care of Gaia, the mother. And that's when we get to the next level. And so I am here to awaken and to bring awareness and to bring love and to help heal and guide into others. And I do it with the ripple effect, but that is what drives me. Master the inner, master the outer. Thank you. Aho.
So good. Love is magnetic. Those of us who have been manifesting things in our lives, and it might seem like things are just not happening. It might seem like the rituals are not working. It might seem like the practice is not working. Are you rooted in love? Are you rooted in self-love? And I can assure you, love is magnetic. Things begin to happen when you say yes to love. James, come on in, James, come on in.
Hey, thank you. First of all, Dakota, thanks so much for that introduction. That was terrific. Thank you so much. What I've been working on, and I was inspired to do this as we began into this movement, which is a little bit out of my current practice, but in a few short months, I'll be 75. And been doing this for a while. One of the things which I've been inspired to do is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, and I hope that it works. I don't know. I don't do lives, and I don't know if I want to do this as an audio only thing. I'm doing it as a video right now, but it revolves around love as an act of inclusion. And the source material that I've chosen for it, given the times that we're in, is the Star Spangled Banner, which may seem a little bit odd, but what I've done is, what I'm trying to do is to take each verse of that anthem and reinterpret it in the words of the great wisdom paths. So one of the examples I'll just give is a quick example without the music or anything else, but because I don't really have it. But the first line of that anthem is, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light," which I continue from a Buddhist perspective, saying that the soul will awaken from this long night of forgetting and become once more bathed in the golden light of divine remembrance. This awakening is not reserved for sages and saints, nor the rich and the powerful. It is the birthright of all beings. So what I'm trying to do in this is get beyond the dogma, get to a place of inner spirit and acceptance where we understand that, yeah, we've got a lot of different perspectives on this planet, but in love, we need to find one. And that's the goal of the work I'm doing. I don't know if it'll fall flat on its face, quite honestly, but it's something that I've become very invested in, and I'm hopeful that it will reach some people and in the way that it's intended to, not in terms of some sort of political basis to it, not whatsoever. I'm trying to very hard move away from that, but use this as a platform, because really what I found is that the lyrics really lend themselves well to interpretation well beyond the body politic, and I really am enjoying doing it. I hope it's something worth listening to some point soon, but that's what I've got going on. And you know, again, thank you for prompting those thoughts for me. It's been kind of a stretch, but I've really enjoyed doing it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, James. Thank you for sharing the vulnerability as creatives and as creators, there's always this what if question. And I saw some people nodding here as teachers, like, oh, I hope he doesn't fall flat face. You know what I'm trying to say. English is hard for
I
me
do.
today. But thank you. Thank you for sharing that. The love for the art, the love for the craft, and exposing it out there and being vulnerable. Thank you. Thank you so much, James. Thank you. Catherine.
Hello, everyone. I think someone needs to be muted. I could hear someone talking. Is that right? Can you hear me?
I believe I muted them, yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. I love this. I love this.
Unmute yourself. I accidentally muted you.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry.
Love you, Violet. I love you.
I was trying to mute the other person.
I relate to your tech challenges.
Thank you.
So, anyway, I love being here with like-minded souls and spiritual wisdom, traditional kind of paths that we're all trying to, lead with. And I know that this movement was born out of politics, right? Let's just be honest. It's one of those things that separates human beings, along with, age and race and income and all the separations of the outer self. So the politics of the day are doing that. And we've joined together to give some leadership and some perspective. And I appreciate you all so very, very much for doing this. I'm finding in my personal life, what's happening is I have a lot of friends in Los Angeles who became Trumpers because of the Make America Healthy Again, type of movement. And they were beautiful, nice, spiritual people, and they're on board. And then I have people who families have been broken up because they didn't vote a certain way. And I have these two friends with examples, and we were trying to have a night out to support another friend, but they asked about each other's politics. And now my night's gone. Like it's blown. And I'm trying to stay in the middle, stay in the spiritual perspective and rise above it and just love both of them and let them know that, give them a chance. There's people with a lot of kindness. There's a lot of good qualities in both sides that you're judging and you're blocking. And I think that when we do take a side, we start to see them as others. And we have to be careful that because you think you're on a side, be careful, because we don't want to do what other people are doing, becoming they're the other. And they're the ones that we have to, you know what I mean? So I think spiritually, I rise above it. I try to look at it from a evolutionary perspective, and this is human evolution, which is part of what others were talking about today, other teachers, about the revolution. To me, the new human evolving human isn't someone with little thumbs so they can text more that's going to be born. I think it's going to be a consciousness of evolution of consciousness, where all of a sudden we'll hit a tipping point and everybody are going to put down their weapons. And it's just going to be a massive wave of love. And I really believe that. And they're going to be like waking up from a fog, And I have a meditation I wrote, and it's on a premium track called World Peace. So you need to, like you said, James said, love, be love. Everybody said actually today, be love to spread love. And I always had, my mission was to be peaceful, to spread peace, one peaceful person at a time. If I can lead someone to that inner peaceful place with my meditations, that's spreading peace through the world, literally. And we are putting that into the pond of potentiality, positivity, because there's so much of the others, side of it. There's so much negativity and hate. And I remind people that Ram Dass, I love Baba Ram Dass. I know you all know him. And he said, God, remember, everyone is God in drag. And that's, I got more to say, but that's all I'm going to finish with. I'm done.
Everyone is God in drag. Love it. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing. Natalie, come on in.
Hello, everyone from Sydney. How are you? Um, um, thank you, Violet. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you, Dakota, for organizing everything. I arrived a little bit late, but I was able to feel the power of Dakota's meditation. So thank you. For me, when I think of love, I think of being vulnerable, of really opening myself to potentially be hurt by others. And I have been hurt by others. And for me, love is to be able to go through this sense of, we've been always told that being vulnerable was a weakness, that you had to have your shield and your boundaries to make sure that you could move through the world unharmed. And to be vulnerable really is really to open yourself to the beauty of receiving from others, and to in some ways to reclaim your power. Because when you are powerful, you are vulnerable as well, and that's how we grow and that's how we learn. So lots of times where I've fallen flat on my face, opening myself. In particular, interestingly, I went through a phase of people working for me, and having chosen people who always knew better than me. So I was obviously in that place of weakness myself. But I ended up learning so much through being vulnerable, opening myself to these people, and eventually, I was going to say being abused in some ways. But so to me, that love is just not being afraid, not wanting to keep yourself safe. It's opening yourself to others, teaching you through, sometimes showing you aspects of you that you've not been able to see yourself. And so love is being vulnerable, is what I would like to bring to the mix, basically. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, Natalie, you said the V word. That's probably my favorite word. So thank you. Thank you. I get excited every time I hear vulnerability. If you know me, I have a course on vulnerability. I talk about it all the time. So thank you for bringing that aspect of showing up.
I thought the V word was violet, but okay.
That's the second one. That's my second favorite one. But thank you for bringing that into the fact that showing up in love might bring some potential for hurt. But is that something that we're willing to risk, to say yes to the calling and to say yes to the revolution? And that is something that we all as individuals need to answer for ourselves. But thank you for bringing that to the table. Bjorn, hopefully I'm saying it right. Come on in. Hopefully.
You got it.
Yes.
It's been quite interesting to hear all these different expressions of what people perceive love is. From Dakota's opening meditation in and of itself was an expression of love, but then also to hear people say, love is this and love is that. And for me, it's like, painting a mosaic of expressions of love, and that really is the essence, right? Because we're human beings and we all came here with our own design and our own unique expression. And what we all really want is to bring that out. Someone said earlier that, loving is easy. Sometimes. But sometimes I feel like it's the most difficult thing to do. If it was so easy, everyone, I believe, would be doing it, because I think deep down, that is what everyone wants. We just sometimes have some very strange ways of going about finding it or expressing it. And I do believe that, every human being has unlimited potential, and there is that expression that wants to come out of every person. And that to go even further, that our greatest expressions of love are always hidden in our deepest fears, both on the micro and the macrocosm. It is what it is to be human, to find the light in the dark. And the more the darkness comes out, the more of an opportunity we have to look into the depths and find a greater light than we had before. I can speak to my own experience. I went through a period where I had been on a spiritual path and had started doing some healing work, and I realized I needed to step away and take care of myself for a while because there was so much coming up in me and moving in me. And I spent almost like 2 months like by myself in my apartment, just constant waves of intense emotion coming up all the time, every day, just sadness and all this stuff. And then I realized eventually, that I was basically uh, comforting the my infant self from a birth trauma that I experienced. And one evening, as I was going for a walk and had just, been through so much purging, I was out on the street and I started feeling this warm sensation in the upper middle part of my chest. And then it was kind of this feeling like almost like what I saw at the time was like the petals of a flower all opening at the same time, and then it just sort of hit me like the a massive wave where this whole space opened up, and I just stepped into this place where there was just endless amounts of unconditional love just pouring through me. I was intoxicated by it. Everything, everywhere I looked, every the road, the trees, the buildings, I would fall in love with all. And that was everywhere I looked, even in the air, I would see these different blends of colors, like a beautiful painting, but it would constantly change and it was never the same. It would shift, and it was always the most beautiful painting I'd ever seen. And for me, it was I had owned my discomfort, allowed that energy to move that needed to, and that was the other side of it for me. And so I would just encourage um, everyone to, if you see something that upsets you, no matter what it is, find the love that is already there because it's hidden there. Those are the moments I don't remember, someone said God and Drake. Those are the moments that come to test you. Feel the discomfort in your body. Pay attention to it. Be curious about it. It's a signpost. Let go of the outcome and embrace the imperfection of the present moment and just, let it be. Uh, Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the honesty of love. Sometimes it's not easy. How do you love those who are purposefully trying to hurt you? How do you love those who disagree with you? How do you love those who have put themselves in situations that you might perceive as your enemies? How do you love those? Those moments are not necessarily the easiest. Is it possible? I think yes. But thank you. Thank you for sharing your honesty. Allison, come on in, Allison.
Hello, hello. Yay, we're here together. I love this. I love it so much. Okay, here we go. I don't know if this is going to be unique, but love is truly unique to each one of us. I mean, listen to every single person having their own experience. And the beautiful piece about this is, Bjorn, I agree with you. To me, I actually grab this. It's chaotic. It's chaotic. It lands differently every single day because we are going through a multitude of experiences, whether it's in here, or it's out here, right? So one of the main things that came to me when I was writing about this, and thank you, John, for bringing this topic up and putting this out as a test, right? A little test. Okay, what's going to come out of this? And there was 2 words that came up for me. The first one is responsibility. Responsibility. Accepting responsibility for my love. That is my responsibility. It is no one else's. And the reason it's my responsibility is because my outcome is going to be different than everyone on the screen and in this chat and everyone I come in touch with, because we're unique. And so that's my responsibility to feel and what I share in terms of love. And the second word is, with that responsibility, for me comes respect. And with respect, it's self-respect, self-worth, which is all self-love, right? For myself and for others. But respect, I think, gets confused with agreeing. I agree. No. For me, it's the effort to get curious. I talk about this, getting curious to understand another point of view. I might not agree. There's a lot I don't agree with, a whole bunch. But I will take a moment to listen. Why? Because it's my hope that they have enough respect to listen to me as well. To calm that chaos, to see what is behind that and what can be uncovered. And to me, I do this by showing up and being present. I teach that to my children. We talk about that regularly. And I teach that with my clients, right? And I teach that to myself, and I do the very best I can to do that as a practice, because my love is my responsibility. And I think that gets lost. It gets loud. It gets too loud. And then we're losing the momentum of the calm power that love can carry. And that is more sustainable in the long term. So it's just a little bit I had to share, but knowing that love is my responsibility. Thank you so much, everyone, for all that you're sharing. This is just incredible, and you're all magnificent.
Allison is so much fun. Allison is so much fun. I follow her on other platforms. So much fun. So funny. Thank you so much. Love is responsibility. Before we continue, we had a beautiful teacher here that had to go, but she wanted us to share. Darius, she sent a message saying to share the following. And she said, love is forgiveness. Forgiveness is for giving. When we can forgive ourselves, we peel away all the layers to begin to authentically know and love ourselves. The more we love ourselves, the more we'll ripple out to others. Love is ritual. And as Ziggy Marley sings, love is a religion. Thank you so much, Darius, for sharing. Jason, come on in, Jason.
Thank you so much. Everyone's got such great things to say. I'll try to be succinct, but I'm also going to go from consciousness to action. They say we're spiritual beings having human experience, and we have to fully live the human experience, though, to honor the spiritual. And with that said, I think that, the saying is, and it's a cliche, but cliche are truisms, is that all is love. Everything is love. And it's either love or a call for love. So as we look at life and we see that, we can realize that all is love. Now, we come onto this earth with the I am consciousness. We come on, as we show up as I am. And that's to the left of that. Before I became I am Jason, before I am a husband, before I am a cat dad, before I am a healer, it's I am. That's who I am. And I begin that. And I have that. And that's love. Guess what that I am is love. That's source. That's whatever you want to call it. And that's the beginning. And that's where we all start. Now, we were talking about how love can be challenging and all that. That's to the right of I am. The I am Jason might have seen love in a different way. And so he might struggle with that. The I am a cat dad might struggle with love in certain ways because, if y'all came into my house and acted the way my cats do, it'd be a different conversation, but, joking aside, but I am at its core is love, and that works. I know IT doesn't like quotes. I was on with Violet with another one, and we had some issues with that. So all I'll say is I was raised by my uncle named Jack, and in the back of his house, he had a cornfield. And one time he said to me, mend where you can touch. And I think that goes to love where you can touch. We start with ourselves. We have to honor ourselves, and we raise that vibration of this earth by raising our own vibration. Thank you, David Hawkins. And that's so true. And the reality, though, is that, but start where you are. We're talking about all these situations in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of behaviors that most of us don't agree with. But let's start and love where we could touch. Let's begin there. And I'll move into, I put in the comments about heart of vision or heart, yes, instead of activism, heartivism. And that's activism from the heart. And that's about being of service, and being of service without ego. That's where we get caught up, right? A Buddhist saying is, be charitable without the act of charity in mind. Well, let's be of service to the world without the act of service. Like, I'm doing this. You're feeding into that love. You're being part of that greater vibration. And that's how that's how I'm committed to love, is to be part of that, raise my vibration and feed into however else I can help the other vibration rise. And thank you so much for having me today.
Another moment of Southern Baptist background. I'm really in my religious roots today because I just wrote about religious trauma. So preach, Jason, preach. So good, so good. I am is love. It is the essence of who we are. So good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicole. Sister, coming in. I'm excited. Coming in, Nicole.
Good evening. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I am thrilled to be among such beautiful energy. I can just feel it. And this chat is just going wild. I love the energy that y'all are putting out there. What's funny is I always take so long to get started, and everybody is like, oh yeah, yes, yes, yes. And I'm like, what do I say? Because everybody has said things I thought to say. One thing that really sat with me is Vasil when he was talking about the inner love. That's what Antara mastery is. Antara is inner mastery. And I was looking for one of the things that at the end of a TM practice, transcendental meditation practice on the app, they share like just some quote or something. And I was looking for a particular one, but this one popped out and I was like, this is so relevant to right now. And it reads, kindness and compassion develop as the heart begins to melt from the experience of the great happiness of transcendental pure consciousness. The heart becomes softer, and then one cannot be, by nature, be harsh to anyone. And starting with self-kindness and self-compassion and melting your own heart is really where it is. Like getting to that place of truly, really loving yourself. What I have noticed is I'm attracting people who are really, really lonely in my business. And what I'm telling them is lonely is external. You have to do some internal work so that you don't experience lonely. You can be alone without being lonely. You can even be with someone and be lonely if that inner work is not done. And so I think it was Vasil was saying that too about the ripples, or no, maybe that was Don. I don't remember, but that was the other thing that came to mind. Is like when we have it within ourselves, it ripples out, and we inspire others just by being who we are. So that was just what came to mind for me, and that's all I wanted to share for this evening. And thank you so much. I love you all so, so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Nicole. Much love to you too. Manel, beautiful, beautiful light. Come on in.
Thank you, Alejandro. It's just like so amazing to be in this energy. And I'm just like, don't even know what I'm going to say because it's just so I just want to laugh and cry and smile and giggle and dance and sing with all of you. And I wish this was a conversation because everybody said something and I wanted to add on to it. And so it's like almost like I want to refer to every single one of you, but I didn't take my notes. But what I want to reiterate, because nothing I'm going to say is new, because all of you glorious, amazing minds are all like receiving and channeling. And I can see like everybody looking up and not looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, there we are. We're receiving. But I just want to say, oh my God, we are love. We are love. And I have the 4-body framework and I have the 5 steps. I have all my little Manal things that I approach everything from an engineering mind, but a spiritual, I don't want to say heart, but everything. But we are love. And we are meant to forget all of the distortions that we've talked about, whether we called it suffering or struggle, we call it pain, we call it loving is hard. All of these distortions is the human experience that our spiritual beings signed up for. It's like, sign me up. I am going to forget that I'm unconditionally worthy and I'm unconditionally loved and I'm unconditionally free. I'm going to forget so I can come back and have this amazing human experience with all these amusing people and have opportunities to remember and to go inward and to stop allowing this external, and whether we blame ourselves and have judgments on ourselves or have judgment on our relationships or our children or our partners or politics or the global world or Mercury. I'm like, poor Mercury, we keep blaming Mercury retrograde for all of these, whatever it happens to be. We're meant to have these distortions. We're meant to have these resistance. We're meant to have these experiences to remind us again, oh, wait a second. Let's go inside. Let's quiet our minds. Let's receive truth. I am beauty. Yesterday during our live, we spent like, I think the last 20 minutes because everybody's like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. We just all like focused on our sacral chakra. And I said words of, we just went through saying love, connection, worthiness, freedom, beauty, abundance, abundance, abundance. I kept saying abundant because I know everybody wants to attract more abundance in their world, and abundance is infinitely enough. Abundance isn't even gluttony. Abundance is like infinitely enough. And so it's like, it was so beautiful of attracting all of these synonyms for love, and any distortion we have to love, it's all part of the architecture of the human design of our human journey for us to reconnect with truth. So thank you, fear. Thank you, pain. Thank you, anger. Thank you, sadness. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Musk. Thank you, Mandela. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, because you are bringing me and reminding me truth. So that's just what I want to say. And then I just want to laugh and dance and sing for 5 minutes. But you're gonna, Alejandro, you're gonna say, Manal, you've taken your time. You're you're done. You're done.
You still have 2 minutes. Go
Oh
on.
my God, I can still do. Okay, let's everybody, let's just feel the words. Let's feel the energy then. Let's all of us just channel our amazing energy. And I keep talking about my amazing acupuncturist Ping, who's getting me to focus on my sacral, even though I like looking at energy everywhere. He keeps getting me to focus on the sacral. So let's just sort of like channel his beauty, and everybody focus on your sacral chakra, the area above your pubic bone and below your belly button. And just let's become aware. Just become aware of it. And just connect with truth. Connect with the infinite nature of your beauty. Connect with love. Even if it's distorted love, it has the delicious taste of love. Connect with worthiness. We are worthy for being, not for doing, but just for being. We can do nothing. We can be just anything. And we are all still equally, infinitely, unconditionally, radically worthy. Connect with your freedom. We think that we're controlled. We try to control. We take substances to feel out of control. But we are infinite vibrational beings. We're free. We are so free. Oh.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for that moment to bring it back in and to truly allow it to sink in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love your energy. Thank you. I have
I
to text
love
you.
you and I
I
love you
have to
all.
text you. Dakota, come on in. Come on in.
How do I follow that? That's great. I'm sitting here listening to everybody, and somebody said it before. There's so many different ideas and takes on love and what it means to each of us and how personal it is. And I'm getting ready to not launch, I'm still in the working out phase of a radio show that I want to do of just highlighting different heroes throughout history. And I was reminded of one that I've been deeply researching lately. And on February 22nd in 1943, Sophie Shaw was walking down a corridor to her death to be executed. And I'm not going to, Violet, don't worry, I'm not going to bring politics into this. But we all know what happened in 1943. And this 21-year-old girl, on the way to her executioner with her brother and friend, was quoted as saying something similar to this, that what a beautiful day to die, knowing that I've sent a ripple of love into the world. 21 years old. And she had the foresight that her death wasn't anything about, oh, poor me, or, oh, this is horrible, I shouldn't have done this or that. And instead, she was thinking about what is her legacy. Now, fast forward to me in you can give away my age here, like 1982-ish. And my best friend, Don Miller, and I were at our summer camp. And Dawn was a huge, huge, huge gay advocate. She felt like gay people should absolutely have every right afforded to them. I was very homophobic back then. I thought, in my mind, I thought all gay people should be executed, to be quite honest. And it was because I was so homophobic because I wasn't accepting myself, because I'm gay. And so one day I asked Dawn, so why are you so adamant about gay rights? Why are you so for them and blah, blah, blah? And she says, because you deserve love. You deserve rights. You deserve anything that I have afforded to me. And I didn't quite get it then, but later after I came out, I was like, wow, she loved me so much that in 1982, the height of the AIDS, and gay people were lambasted left and right, you couldn't walk out into anywhere without fearing your life. And yet Dawn, my straight best friend, held the ground for years before I came out. She never said to me, you need to come out, or you need to admit this, or maybe you should be doing this, or anything like that. She just loved me so much that she just knew that if she continued to fight for gay rights, that she was in some way fighting for me. And fast forward to my life now. I have a beautiful wife that loves me so much. And at Christmas time, she has 3 bio kids, and got into quite a fight with one of them. And she yelled at me because my mom cooks for you and she does your laundry, and she's just angry at me. And I said, well, first of all, Wendy doesn't like my cooking, and she's fearful of me doing her laundry. I think anybody should be. But more than that, it's because she loves me so much, and she knows that I'm working and I'm doing these things, and that's her act of love. And I just am amazed by how so many times we miss those small little acts of love that people do for us, unselfishly, unasked for, even people who we don't even know. And so for me, it's like stepping back into that fold of how is love all around me when I'm not even aware of it. And that's why I just want to leave here today, is that there's so much love in this world, and sometimes we get hyper-focused on the news and the headlines, and really all I have to do is look outside my door. All I have to do is look at the people in my life. All I have to do is listen to the stories of people before me who have fought for my right to be here. Hallelujah to them. Love as a revolution. Aho.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love is all around. All we have to do is open our eyes and receive. Love is. There is no extinguishing that. There's no ending to love. Love is because it is. It has always been. It will always be. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. Fatima, come on in.
Hello, good evening, everyone. There should be a reason for me to speak at the end. I believe I'm going to bring some homework for everyone. First of all, around February, I started these healing circles on IT. So everyone here has the possibility to create a group. And, sometimes there are always people that go to your lives, and they connect with you and they come back again and again. So for any teacher, you can create a group, and Violet was the one really empowering me on that. And for anyone in the chat, I'm sure you belong to many groups already, or to a few groups, and maybe those groups are stopped. And we have an amazing option in those groups to create these virtual rooms where everyone can meditate at the same time. And in my group, I have a group called Sound Healing Mastermind. We did yesterday, and we have been doing literally every week, and sometimes more than one time. We have been doing these healing circles in which we meet together in that group to send love to a specific person. Yesterday was for Amanda. She has health issues. And the other day was for someone else that had maybe self-confidence issues. Or every time we choose one person, or Thierry is here saying, Thierry is in that group, Jay also. So what we do is we just connect at that time. We hear a track at 432 hertz at the same time. We do some talk at the beginning just to connect, and some people, they send love through words. Other people just send love in silence. Other people close their eyes. And most of the times, because the track is 1 hour, and I mean, I'm full in that 1 hour, most of the time I fall asleep at the end of the track, and I allow myself to go into the evening, into the night, sending love to that person. So this is an inspiration for both teachers and for both anyone here in the chat. Check the groups where you are. I know there are more groups here that are with amazing people and they are not in movement. And maybe we can use this beautiful feature from Inside Timer to create more healing circles between everyone and sending love in ways that we are together, and we don't need to be in a live. We don't need to, it's a different way. The second thing I would like to bring, and this is a revealing because who is following me from the chat knows that I'm going to release a single, a new track. This track is in collaboration with another teacher on Inside Timer, and only Violet heard the track so far. And I never revealed who was that teacher. That teacher is Christoph. So we created a track together, and he did this beautiful recording with the crystal balls at 432 hertz. And I created the arrangement over that melody he had. And I also created lyrics, and I like to read those lyrics. So this is a revealing in many ways, not only in terms of collaboration, but in terms of lyrics. I wrote them in February when I was connecting more with John and really engaging with his way of speaking, his way of sharing love, the way his energy already shares love without, he speaks well, but John, your energy is already a show of love. So the lyrics, the song is called Beneath the Silence. And in my opinion, we go back to when we were born, and we go back, someone here, I think Jason was speaking about going to the essence, the I am, or I think Alejandro said the word essence. So that is my opinion. When we go back into our essence, there is no racism, there is no, all the judgment comes after that. So it's kind of going back to your essence. And the lyrics are, listen, there is a sound beneath the silence, a rhythm older than time itself. It is the first drum we ever knew, the heartbeat, steady and wavering and true. Love is not just a word, it is the pulse within us, the invisible thread that connects all things. With every beat, love speaks. You are here, you are held, you are whole. Love is the rhythm of existence, the way the tides kiss the shore, the way the moon pulls the ocean, the way our hearts call out for one another in quiet, unseen ways. I choose love. I choose love. And this is a whispering voice. We have effects, we have piano, cello, a kick drum. It's a beautiful arrangement that we will be releasing in April. Violet already created the live, so for anyone that wants to come in April 17, it will be on Violet's account. Just go to her profile and you have the event there. So this is my message from today.
Thank you so much, Fatima. You are here, you are held, you are loved. Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Maria, come on in.
Hello, thank you so much for this wonderful platform and group. I just would like to share with you guys that in the 80s, I read a book about Carl Jung's explanation of the shadow. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, that are unconscious projections we see in others. So what we consciously don't allow to see in ourselves, we actually attract the people who project that back to us. And I wanted to share with you, since that understanding, that especially the people and the relationships in my life who were very challenging, when I could use this idea or this statement for dealing with something very difficult and very opposing, that it was for me an incredible tool to find love and to overcome the anger and frustration and the insecurity about others. When before I realized that I actually have all that power to look in myself and find what's missing through that challenging person or that challenging event or whatever it is. And it often revealed incredible insights to me, only because somebody else actually, it is a loving act, challenged me with something incredibly difficult at the time. So I thought that when we right now in this time where everything is opposite, that we actually can also see how those two parts in our society or wherever it is, how much they share of the topics they blame the other, and see through the unconsciousness in that. That's all what I wanted to share. It was very healing for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for your voice, for your wisdom, and for your energy. Anyone else? Anyone else? I know we've all shared. I know we have been sharing energy, and the chat has been going crazy. The hearts have been going crazy. So thank you all so much. John, anything you want to add to this beautiful space?
Just a heartfelt gratitude and thank you. This was beyond my wildest dream. So it was just outstanding. I can't wait to see what is going to come from this, because this came from what we did last month. So it's only building, and it's a sight to behold. So I'm just so grateful. Just get out there and keep creating, keep loving, keep being you. Just keep your voices up, and we will get through all of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, John. Thank you for saying yes to the call. Emily, come on in.
I just, I don't know where to start, because this has all been so incredible and beautiful. And it's near midnight here in Scandinavia, so I'm gonna go to bed soon, but I just wanted to share a very brief peace hymn that came to me a year ago or so, if you would like to hear it as a little goodbye before I leave the chat or this beautiful live. It's called A Golden Thread, and it's the Weaver's Peace Hymn. And I've been wanting to publish it on IT for some time, but I've had technical difficulties and they didn't approve of this and that. So it's gonna come eventually. So let's see. Oh, golden thread, a weave is made, a weave of peace for barren land, a golden thread, a weave of gold for weary hearts.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dana, come on in.
So I was just thinking back about, what we've all been talking about. And sometimes we can get really overwhelmed and think that we're so small and we can't make a difference. But you're a unique aspect of consciousness and all that is, specifically planted where you are. And you will affect your environment. And at first, it's to love you, because this conscious revolution, we keep forgetting and thinking, oh, it's this policy over here, it's this being over there, it's that person, it's how this person treats me. And to go to freedom in the conscious revolution that we're in, we overcome the fear inside of us. Because can you imagine a planet that runs without fear? Fear of one another. There won't be a need for borders. There won't be a need for control. And the very place that we start is in our own heart, to love ourselves, not to be afraid of ourselves or who we are, and not to think that we're so small we cannot make a difference. You are Source embodied, and you came for this time. Be not afraid. Love yourself. You are love, and you are a part of the change towards freedom. Fear not. Love you again.
So good. Thank you. Thank you. Violet, anything else?
I have been catching up on the chat as best I can. This was amazing. I can't wait to watch the replay because when I'm looking at 5 screens, I miss a lot. But when I upload that replay, I get to soak it all in. And I mean, it has been amazing. Dakota, that opening, I still have chills. And Alejandro, you've been amazing. Like, I can't even thank you enough because it took so much pressure off of me not to have to multitask myself to exhaustion. So my 5 screens here were plenty, and you have been amazing. John, I don't even know what to say. You started something so incredible, and I am thrilled to be a part of it in whatever way that I can. My tech skills, like I said, is my superpower, so I'm happy to share it. And I think Alejandro, we don't want to put the pressure on you, but you're doing our closing. So, I'm gonna go back to you. I just wanted to thank everybody who came. I lost track of how many 448. I mean, amazing. We had 35 teachers signed up. I know some of them had an issue getting in I'm still working on these details. So next time, and yes, there will be a next time, you never know. It could double. So Alejandro,
Awesome.
I'm gonna let you
Again,
do.
awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, everyone, for co-creating this beautiful space with us. Not only us as teachers, guides, coaches, but also you as the audience. We are because I am. I am is us. So let's find a comfortable position just as we are, allowing your body to rest in the stillness of this moment. Even if there's movement, even if you're walking around, washing dishes, beneath the movement, there is stillness. And if you can, and if it's comfortable with you, I invite you to gently close your eyes or lower your gaze and take a deep breath in and out. And allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm, understanding that this air we're breathing is love itself. It's the essence of life. And I invite you to bring your attention to your heart center, the space within you that knows unconditional love, the space within you that knows the essence of who you are. Even when words fall short, even when understanding feels out of reach, you know love because you are love. Which, with each inhale, welcome in the presence of your divine essence, not as something to grasp or define, but as something to be. And with each exhale, release the need to analyze, explain, fix, or even understand. Knowing that love does not always ask for understanding. Love does not demand solution. Love, in its purest form, is presence. It is the willingness to sit beside another soul, to witness their joy, their pain, their journey, without needing to change a thing. Love is presence. And where love is, change happens. This is who you are. This is love. And it does not need agreement, explanations. It only asks for us, for you, to show up just as you are, right here, right now. May you walk in love. May you walk in the essence of who you've always been created to be. This is not a foreign concept. This is not something to learn. This is something to remember. You are the embodiment of love. Taking a final deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes if they were closed. Bring movement into your body. truly believing that you are the essence of source, that you are the embodiment of love, without understanding, without fixing. You are, because I am. Thank you. Thank you so much.